Indeed. So we will be joining them on Land of Fire. And Sea of Fortune is the third. So 0 all of those for the moment. We need to know which way trap goes. While we're on that talk, of course, I suppose we need to very quickly discuss how things are going for Sea of... where are we? Yes, Land of Fire, because we saw it a bit in the qualifying stages, of course. It was in the map rotation for those. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays this time around with the more experienced teams coming up.
Sorry, I missed that. Which map was that?
Land of Fire, the round 2.
Yeah, so this is kind of I mean, we saw it last week. It's I don't like it in randoms. It's I don't know. It's a difficult map to play. The characteristics of the different caps are so different. That's kind of a obvious statement, but that C cap is just so different to the other two. I think that.
Yeah, it very definitely tests your ability to handle different terrain situations, and it tests the ship's ability to handle them as well. A ship that does well in C is going to have a horrid time in A and B, and vice versa.
Yeah, and I think because of that, we might see some ship choices specifically to deal with that Charlie cap.
The other option, of course, is just to ignore Charlie entirely, grab A and B, then turn the BC channel into a shooting gallery.
So sorry, I'm watching 3 million different things at once. So do you?
Yeah, I'm watching the Discord as well. MDF have just gone active in Discord in the group chat.
So for they've just come out of the match. There we go.
Yes. So we need the result. Okay.
Result, please. Streamers hungry for info. MDF1.
MDF1, right, okay. So MDF are one map up, and that means Italian Royal Navy are going to be looking to keep things on this side. So update the screens. There we go. Yay! You've almost fooled yourself that this was professional. And we're heading into Land of Fire with, well, IRN have got quite a bit of recovery to do.
So I'll be on the MDF side, you'll be on the IRN side in the south.
Indeed, and we just need IRN to quickly get themselves sorted out. And what this does mean, of course, is that we have to get our third giveaway set up and running.
Oh yeah, we do, yeah, pretty much immediately.
So, indeed, right. So, keyword for me, or at least the keyword in 5 minutes' time, will be exclamation mark pasta.
Pasta? Are you getting hungry or something?
No, look at my team.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's yes. What shall I have? Like fiberboard.
Why not? Trigger all those lovely memories of
my
CBT classes.
I've gone for the very boring air container.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, just resetting that. Archive and redo it. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're in my chat, which of course all of you are, because you're all in both of our chats, because you're on multitwitch.tv. So I'll just create that, and the code for mine will be air containers. And we'll draw that either at the end of this single game, or we'll draw it at the end of the best of 3 in 2 matches' time.
Absolutely. So, looks like Italian Royal Navy are just resetting their team a little. I don't know whether they're bringing in substitutes or if a couple of people had to reset, but they're just getting themselves sorted out. And I suppose what's worth talking about in the meantime is the ships that perhaps we aren't seeing in this tournament so far. So, some of them are obvious no-shows. For example, Shimakaze just cannot handle an enemy carrier, or even most enemy destroyers in a gunfight.
No,
so you don't see too much of her. Hakuryu seems to have gone out of fashion now that people are discovering Midway's dive bombers.
Yes. We're not well. We've seen a few Grosjevois. We've seen a surprising number of gearings. That does surprise me. But I think
Yeah.
what that is, it's people would like a stealthy destroyer that can do spotting, but they also need something that can defend itself and has decent AA, and so that's why they're going for the
I
gearing or the Grosjevois.
I would love to know how many of those gearings are running the legendary mod, because that gets it down to 5.6 kilometers detection,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's the same as Shimakaze.
Yep.
The other thing, of course, is that gearing has the Mark 17 torpedo and can reach out to, I think it's 13, possibly 16 kilometers with a relatively
Yes.
slow running torp. So for denial and herding, and we saw Tank Slapper doing a lot of that in the last match.
Yeah, and it's just
She just
shoving
beats the
those torps
Grosjevoy.
out. Yeah, shoving those torps out into, as you put it very well, like put those torps down into places where you don't want things to be. Because if then something turns up in that place where you don't want things to be, then it's going to get torped. And if there's nothing there, then you haven't lost anything. So that's how he was using them, and to great effect, I think.
Yeah. And it's not even that. It's just the fact that once you've had one set of torps whiz past your hull or into it, you're suddenly paranoid for the rest of the match. And it's amazing how cautious people are when it comes to torpedoes. Uh, Asashio in particular, they're one of the great things about driving an Asashio is watching 3 tier 10 battleships no pout from half a map because you're in the
Absolutely.
area.
Yep, absolutely. And you're of course nowhere near them because you launched them, when you were maybe like 15k away from them, and you're nowhere near, but they still go nope, even though there's nowhere they can nope to. So
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
I
so
find that hilarious as well.
it's absolutely hilarious, yes. However, teams are readied up, so we should be good to go in the next couple of minutes.
So we're joining this, as we've said before, in the second match. So MDF have already taken the lead. They've already taken the first match. We missed that because the previous match overran. So we'll be joining this in round 2. And of course, if MDF take this, then they'll be taking the whole match 2-0. Or we might see IRN take the second match, in which case we'll go through to a third round.
Indeed, and we will be back to see a fortune for that one. So, teams
Right,
are just doing their
teams are
final
ready.
checks, and
I'll just say streamers ready. Streamers
Indeed.
ready. Just check my giveaway is giving away. It is giving away air containers to enter.
So is mine. Just remember, swing into both chat channels on the multi-Twitch, ! Pasta in mine, and ! What was it, air containers in yours?
Air containers, yes.
Yes, to get to double up your chances of winning.
I'll just drop the multi-Twitch.
Teams are declaring ready. We are, well, we were good to go 5 minutes ago. And well, there's a ship oh boy. Oh wow. How did MDF win if that's their lineup?
How did they win if that's their lineup? Well, that's a good question. Well, yeah, it's the first Bourgogne we've seen, and that's a very spammy lineup. Wow. We're going to be seeing a lot of...
That's not what I'm looking at. It's what's not there.
Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe
they have absolutely doubled down on their anti-air, and that might be how they're keeping the midway at bay, but they've not got a carrier.
So maybe... Oh. I was looking at the destroyer end of the market, because they've not got one of those either.
No.
Interesting.
Look at what they have taken. I mean, there is so much rapid-fire data on that they might actually get away with it if IRN don't sit back and play the long-range game. But IRN have taken Henri's. So they can do that.
That is an extreme lineup.
This has just turned into possibly the most interesting game of the day.
Absolutely. I would have loved to have seen the last game now, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, yes, right. So let's see. IRN are going for what looks like either an AC or BC split. They're putting a couple of the honorees out towards C, where I suspect they've just played Denial along with one of the Republiques, and the other 5 are pushing, yeah, that's an A split from their initial course. What are you not doing?
Well, so I'm kind of going to be very interested to see where they put these cruisers, because they're all quite squishy cruisers. that
Yeah, but
don't
the sheer number of them and the sheer number of
Yeah,
guns.
but my experience of fighting teams that have this kind of lineup in clan battles, okay, they're not the same skill level maybe, but is that once you start to lose them, they tend to go down like dominoes. So we'll see where they hunker down, but there's not much cover over on the A side, and they are going very heavy on the A side. There's only the Montana and one of the Worcesters going over to Charlie. Everything else has
Yes.
gone A side, which is the opposite
And
to
of
what I thought they were
course,
going to do.
IRN have taken a Republic and pair of Republiques. And as we've discussed before, Republique's a very good cruiser killer.
Absolutely, they must be licking their lips at the moment. Yeah,
Either
this is
that or they're wondering what the catch is.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Free lunch. Well, there must be a catch. There's no such thing as a free lunch, but
Hmm.
it surprises me that MDF have gone to the A side with these cruisers because surely they would do better on the Charlie side, or maybe that's the idea. Maybe they want to
Well, I
catch
don't
them
know.
out.
I mean, they may be thinking that perhaps they can use the Montana and the other ships at sea to just target
So
IRN's
the
right flank.
the other thing which we're seeing right now, of course, is that MDF are being spotted by the carriers of Fox's Shadow. But
Hmm.
of course, your guys are not being spotted by our carrier because we don't have one.
Yes, and Fox
So,
has dropped a fighter squadron. He's looking for some early rockets on Lumaniac, and he got them, but he didn't get the fire.
and what did we learn, boys and girls, last week about carriers in King of the Sea? We learned
What did
that
we
you
learn
need.
last week?
Oh no,
Yes.
no, sorry. I'm thinking about clan battles. So the test clan battles that we've done this last
Hmm.
week across server, where we've played teams that don't have carriers, they just get their butts kicked. So it's going to
But
be
MDF are one game up, so clearly they
wow,
didn't.
absolutely. So that's kind of interesting.
So if you're wondering why we both sound a bit stunned, it's the cognitive dissonance setting in.
Yeah, totally. But what's
Everything
even more
about
interesting is that they've not taken a carrier for spotting, but they've also not taken a destroyer for spotting. So
yeah, and they've
which
not taken destroy for advanced capping either. So Lucky Canna's Grozovoy is potentially going to just run through
okay.
all three caps,
So
lock them down.
the first move, I don't know whether you can see them, but there's the Des Moines of Bogdanant and Machine 007 in Minotaur is pushed above B. So they're now just sitting above that big
Yes,
island.
the air spotting's not back, and I think at this point Fox's Shadow. I think Fox's Shadow is at this point perhaps betraying the difference between a top tier carrier player and a merely fairly good one, because he's looking to put rockets on target. And that's twice now he's led out on Lumaniac with rockets. And okay, it's working. Lumaniac is down 40,000 health and has what looks like two permafires. But you'd expect a midway driver to be leading with his dive bombers, and you'd expect him to be sitting back and just spotting this
Yeah,
massive
so
cluster of
absolutely.
contacts
So
north
Machine
of A.
and Machinists are just backing into Bravo now, so you'll see that flip in a couple of seconds. Of
Yeah,
course,
and that will
he's not
get
spotted.
carrier attention. But Fox's Shadow has, I think, tunneled up and gone fangs out, hair on fire. And he's just said, "Oh, exposed targets, damage, damage, damage." That's not what a carrier is for at this level of
How,
play.
however, he is keeping the Montana spotted. He is doing damage, and the Montana is now coming under fire. If that Montana goes down, that is going
Yes.
to be a significant advantage to IRN.
And while it's true that that's the case, and I think Luminiac is going to go because he's on 12,000 health, he's got a fire, and he doesn't seem to have damage control. Oh, and he's got two Hellfires shooting at him. The fact remains that, wow, okay, MDF are into A as well.
Yep,
And they're
absolutely.
coming around that flank. And this is where they really need the spotting
Yep.
from the carrier.
So this
And
it's
wow.
It's Alaman von Board in the Worcester who is in the cap. The Bourgogne is also pushing in, as you can probably see.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've
we're
got a
seeing
Moino.
map pings for command and control, ordering fire onto the
Yep.
smoked up Des Moines, but
And then we've got
nothing to aim at. A has flipped. Suddenly it's okay, they've traded a lot of health to get there, but most of it was Lumaniacs soaking the carrier's attention.
and they've got to keep, in my opinion, they've got to keep that pressure on Lumaniac because they don't want him to get away and get healing, which he now is healing. So
The question is, okay, Lumaniac's gone for his dive bombers. I can only assume he's run out of rocket planes. Fox's Shadow rather is coming
Yep.
back in, but he's going to run into a Worcester's kill box if he goes for the Montana again,
Yeah,
and
so
he's still not spotting.
No, and I think Lumaniac has slowed down so that the Worcester of Tomi can catch up and provide him with a bit of AA support. But that
Yeah,
means Tomi is actually coming under quite a lot of fire there from the Republic and the two Henris.
yes, but it's serving its purpose. While Fox's Shadow is trying to kill this Montana
And he's
in a
taking
vain attempt.
he's also taking a not a very good approach angle there for dive bombers. He's coming in from the side, which is the worst angle you can take.
Yeah, and he's about to run. Well, he's running through a Montana's flak, which is bad enough. But
He missed.
yeah, that's a bad attack run coming down. I don't know if it's going to hit it. He gets hits, but not as many as he would have with the bow to stern. And
But I think it's going to be the Henris that do it.
It's going to be the Henris that do it without question.
Yep.
But yeah, he's still in the Worcester's kill box. That's quite a lot of planes getting shot to pieces. Oh, and he's still not providing any spotting for the rest of his team.
So, meanwhile, over at Alpha and Bravo, MDF have actually set up pretty good map control here. So they're very heavily sitting in Alpha, and the Republic of Gortan is having to start to think about kiting away.
Yes.
And then the Minotaur, as I would call it, the Des Moines Minotaur combination, is just starting to head out of Bravo now, and it looks like they're going to start heading over towards Charlie to provide a little bit of fire support to Captain Stewie and the Republic.
And Synthanor is actually in a position whereby he can basically pin the Worcester, the Republic, and the Grozavoy moving between A and B. So he's kind of pinning IRN down in this southwest corner. By the book, this map should be a one-sided curb stomp in IRN's favor, and wow.
Yeah, I'm as stunned as you are. This is like strawberries and pepper. It shouldn't work, but somehow it just does. If you've never tried strawberries and black pepper, that's what this is like.
Ah, right.
You think strawberries
allegedly sweet, but then you swallow it and it turns out to contain the fires of hell?
Yeah, it's just kind of like it's a combination you wouldn't expect, but it just somehow just works, and that seems to be what MDF have pulled off here. It shouldn't work on paper, but it just somehow does.
And Fox's Shadow again. He's popped his rocket planes. Now, I hate to diss a player, but this is absolutely the difference.
Yeah, and also
good midway driver and another tier one.
To pick on another player, Grilletto down in Henri on the one line. He's just hit the map border, and I don't think he should have let himself get that far over before turning, because that's going to slow him down a bit, and he's going to have to turn almost broadside across to get back to the rest of his team.
And that's a Burgoyne looking at him. And one of the things about the French cruisers is that they've got great speed. Oh, that's why he hit the map border. Every time he tries to turn back, Synthanor has been lobbing AP at him.
Yep, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. He's managed to trap himself there. He is going to go for the turn, but I think he's going to get blapped when Synthanor reloads.
But by the time he does that, Synthanor's going to have those 15-inch main batteries reloaded. He's between a rock and a hard place. Literally, he can't turn to get back into the game.
And Burgoyne gets a reload.
Spotted.
Burgoyne gets a reload booster, doesn't it?
It does, but at this point, I think Grilletto's sole hope is just to break contact, get into stealth. Unfortunately, that's not really the Henri's good point. So he's going to get run right into the one line.
And this is the danger, right? So he's having to run south now, so he doesn't show broadside, but he's being pursued, and he's just going to end up in the corner, and then he's going to have to turn left. And then he's going to have to... because he'll be pinned against the southern map, he'll have that engine penalty all the way through the turn. But IRN are trying to rally. They've turned the corner. They've got up into the A line, and Francisite and Venom are pushing on Tomi and Stewie. They're also retaking B, so they might be able to turn this one back around. There we go. There goes Tomi 26. Ulva takes him down, and now Captain Stewie should be eating a lot of focus fire from those two Henris. So I suspect we are going to see a toasted Republic very, very shortly. Yep,
Fox's Shadow coming in. Again, he's going for the broadside drop on the Republic.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's doing that. Maybe it's so that he doesn't have to take a lot of time going around. Because you still will get a few bombs on target doing that, but it is a little bit wasteful.
you do your positioning, you do your IP before you hit a ship's flak range. Honestly, he's coming in spout astern now.
He just used a little hack that I like to use, which is where you bounce your planes off the map border. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think we've all used that by accident, but
accident.
you often see carrier drivers use it on purpose when we're in this situation. Stewie's in trouble. I think that's 2, possibly 3 fires. Yeah, that's 3 fires burning.
And of course, in a rep, in order to get both of your guns on target, you have to show quite a lot of flank, quite a lot of broadside.
Yeah. So, 6,000 and counting. The Henris, of course, don't really care.
600.
699, 0. There goes the toddler. Right. So that leaves Bogdan empty. So Foxshadow coming with the rockets, broadside approach, which is, yeah, that works. Didn't get a fire, but no torpedoes from Foxes so far.
No, actually, and his planes just got massacred by Des Moines.
Admittedly, that was probably his least worst target. When you consider the options are a Des Moines that's overlapping with a Burgoyne, a Des Moines that's overlapping with a Worcester, a Minotaur that's overlapped with a Burgoyne, and a Minotaur that's overlapped with a Des Moines.
Yeah, I'm getting the distinct impression that MDF are like anti-CV. Maybe it's a political statement.
Maybe it is. You never know.
We're not going to take one. We're not going to take one. We're going to take all the AA ships, and we're not going to take a destroyer. That screams anti-CV to me.
Yes, although Gortan again being forced to run off. That said, this match is starting to swing back to textbook. Very much so, in fact. They're 4 kills to 1, 900
points. They're going to need to
70
push in.
seconds off the cap out. Oh, there we go. Torpedoes from Foxes, largely because I think he'd run out of every other plane in the hangar. But that's what overlapping flak does. Ouch.
Yeah, he's not getting anywhere near that. Where is he at the moment, the carrier?
He's actually parked behind point C.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, credit to him. That is a good position at this stage of the game. He's covered, he's shielded.
Gortan
but it's just that he's run out of planes.
Gortan is getting Minotaur to death here. I think he's going to go down. Yep, he is.
Yep, there we go. That leaves Grilletto running down the one line. He's managed to make the...
he did manage to get out of the corner.
The turn, but now he's going away again because angry Minotaur.
He doesn't really need to angle there. He just needs to get out of dodge, I think. But
well, to be honest, that is also a good angle for getting out of dodge. He's popped his speed boost.
Okay.
So he's currently running for the hills.
So Worcester, the Worcester at Bravo, underneath your Worcester at Bravo, is starting to run away, but the Des Moines is nose in, so he's going to have.
He's nose in. I mean, 8-inch. He can take on a 7mm bow.
Sorry, little bit of a cock up on our side, on the MDF side. The Des Moines and the Worcester both radared at the same time. So a little bit of miscommunication there.
Is that a splinter in the CNC, or is it just sod it, use it when they don't have the time to worry about it later?
I'd imagine that was a call from the FC to radar, and they didn't specify which ship should radar, so both of them popped
Yes, mind you, Bogdan there showing a bit too much angle. If Venom doesn't go for AP on his next salvo, I'll be surprised.
He's just waiting for him to pop round the corner. I don't think he's got a shot just yet. Here he comes forward
Bogdan
to get the shot.
Turns bow in. Yeah, there's the AP, but the ship wasn't the Des Moines that Bogdan had to worry about. So, 1-1.
1-1, and we go into a third round. So the radical lineup maybe not quite as effective as the first match might suggest. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep it for the third one.
That being said, by the book, that should have been over 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, absolutely. They've obviously been practicing with that lineup, for sure.
Yes.
So one apiece into the third round, which will be on Sea of Fortune.
Indeed. And I wonder if we're going to see any change. I wonder if MDF are going to pull a carrier out for this one. Then again, they might stick to their guns.
They may do. I've got a funny feeling that they might stick to it. That last lineup in that last game, just as I said, it just screamed, "We don't like carriers." So we'll see.
Or it screamed, "We don't have a carrier, and therefore we're going to make sure your carrier is miserable as well."
There may be a bit of that as well. Yeah, there may be some players who either haven't got up to the tier 10 yet, although you'd expect in these teams they could just free XP their way up. But
I have to admit that is something I'd expect to see in the qualifiers, not the group stages.
Or maybe the teams have tried out carrier and they just can't make it work with the players that they have, perhaps, and so they've just decided to go with what they know and what they know they're good at. Maybe,
but
or they just hate carriers. I'll have to.
I can't help but think, however, that if someone like Farazaleth had been an IRN's carrier, that map would have been over a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think we saw quite a few misplays there from the IRN carrier. I question his drop patterns and the targets that he was choosing. As you said, he wasn't providing much spotting, and of course the advantage that they had in that match with the only carrier is that they had the eyes when the other team didn't, but they didn't use that advantage.
Absolutely. We'll see if that swaps around in this match. Of course, giveaway is still running. ! Pasta in mine and ! S.
Air containers. Air containers. Or air container.
In Stats Blokes to enter that. We'll draw it after this tiebreaker.
Yeah, I've just popped a couple of reminders from Moobot in the chat. Currently running on only 33 entries. So if you're watching Yusral's stream, please do open the multi-Twitch and pop into my chat and enter. You're very welcome to enter both. There's no reason why not.
Although I'm running 29 entries, so come on, guys.
Oh, well, if you're in my chat, then
all you have to do is type ! Pasta and possible free containers may be yours.
You don't have to choose your favourite. You can enter both. Okay, both teams nearly ready. Just waiting for Stewie on our side and a couple of others on the IRN side.
Right. Streamers look ready. We're just waiting for, as you say, IRN to get themselves set up, in Captain Stewie as well.
IRN taking a little bit of time here. Maybe they're just having a bit of a locker room chat.
Having a little bit of a discussion.
Yep, that's fine for us. We've got until 30 for the next match, so we're okay. We've got time. The next match up after this one will be KTM versus Extreme. I can't remember if we watched any of those last week. Did we? I can't remember.
No,
I don't think we did.
We didn't see either of those teams.
I'm not really familiar with either of them, so it should be interesting to start to discover those teams. Yeah, there's definitely a team chat going on. IRN have just started to ready up. I think their chat is over. Yeah, it is.
Yes. That being said, well, we'll see.
It's so difficult, not because of course I can see their lineup and you can see.
Yes, and I can see IRN's lineup, and we can't
talk about it
until they actually commit the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't say any. I'm trying not even to make facial expressions.
Oh yes, you're on camera, aren't you?
I am on camera. Hello.
Yes.
Only during these map scenes.
Yes, but it does mean you have to keep a neutral face, so I can't tell appalling dad jokes in an effort to get you to crack.
I'm terrible. I'm trying to do that thing where you wipe your hand over your face and make a change of expression, but I can't do it. Okay, so MDF are reporting a crash.
Stewie had a crash, so luckily that didn't happen in the game. Yeah.
Right, how's my giveaways going? Yep, we've got a few more entries coming in now, so I think people are starting to find the other chats.
Yep, and we've got a few more in here as well, but 32 eligible entries. Come on, I know there are 81 of you watching.
Absolutely.
Where are the other 50? Where are the other 50? Don't be shy, guys. Come on.
Absolutely. So twitch.tv, multitwitch.tv/Yusral/Statsbloke will get you both chats at once. If you're watching, obviously you have both videos open, you need to mute one of them, otherwise you'll get all sorts of weird echoes and stuff. Okay, both teams appear to be all ready.
Yep, this looks good. Right, so decider between MDF and IRN. Will MDF continue their Determined Anti-Carrier Manifesto. We're going to find out in a few seconds.
Oh, yes, we will. So I can tell you they have
Nope,
changed.
Nope, they have succumbed. That said, that didn't stop them going absolutely murderous at levels of AA again. Still no destroyer.
They've basically kept it the same. They've switched up. They have got a midway, but they've got an Henri now instead of what would that be instead of a Des Moines?
Yes.
So,
and they actually.
Interestingly,
a quick head count.
I find it interesting that on this map, neither team has gone with a Yamato, because this map does do very well with Yamato sitting above or below the B cap, just doing area control and sniping.
Indeed. Both teams may be reckoning that they can play a more mobile game, and Montana is pretty good as an all-rounder.
Yeah.
It's just the overmatch where she lacks the advantage. But
of course, there's
the fact that she has those 12 guns compared to Yamato's 9.
Yeah,
and she does have just a bit more oomph in the firepower.
And with no Yamato on the other side, it can probably sit quite safely in the middle.
Absolutely. Although they took a bit of a gamble that there'd be no Yamato on the other
exactly,
side,
yeah, totally.
But they can absolutely just bow on, or even 20, 30 degrees out and start bringing the rear guns into play. Okay, we have a bit of a traffic pile up on the IRN side, but it looks like an AC split from here.
It looks like most people on the MDF side spawned on the correct side, which is good for them. So they're already on their way. So we've got...
Indeed.
We've got 50-50. It's a 4-4 split.
And Bogdan getting some early spotting in, and likewise Fox's Shadow. Fox's slightly advanced technique there. Of course, he did drop one of his squadrons to minimize casualties for an early scouting run. Gets a quick look, turns back, breaks away from the Minotaur. He's had to be caged, of course, because there is so much anti-air on that side that the first thing he's likely to know about an enemy position is when his planes start falling out of the sky.
I've lost all my planes. There must be something there. Yeah.
Yes.
So Des Moines on your side is being quite bold, I think, and pushing up underneath B, whereas nothing is doing that on our side.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a fairly classic move on the south side that Venom's pulling at the moment. And we actually saw it the last time we were on this map. He can dig in, go bow on, and it's going to need, well, something with 16-inch guns to shift him. Unfortunately, Synthanor is sat right there with a pair of, well, more than 16-inch turrets.
That's what I mean by bold.
And will definitely be able to shift him.
Yeah, that's what I mean by bold. It's not the being there, it's the getting there that's difficult.
Well, the getting there is easy enough. It's going to be surviving there. Synthanor is far enough away that I think he's going to be able to drop shots into Venom's deck and bow section.
Only if he's spotted, and I don't think he's got the angle. Synthanor is pushing very close to that island in front of him. I'm not sure why. I think maybe they're going...
I think he's got incoming from the Republic of Gortan at the moment, and yeah, he's taken a couple of early salvos, so that may have persuaded him to duck.
I thought they might have been going out for an all-out push on Alpha, but no, he is turning. Interesting. Okay, we'll see. So Minotaur of Catlaron is just making his way down now, probably to try and get a cap on Alpha. If he gets spotted, he's in trouble.
Well, if he gets spotted, it will be over fairly quickly, because there's two Henris in the Republique sitting at the south of Alpha and just waiting for something to pop up.
He knows they're there. He knows full well they're there. So.
So I wonder if he's going to play bait, because what isn't on this side, of course, is any kind of radar. So he can tuck in and then let the IRN ships just basically unmask and set themselves up for corrective artillery from his allies.
So the Minotaur actually just opened up to get himself spotted. So that he would bait fire, which is kind of interesting.
That said, it didn't work.
No. So they're currently still focusing on Synthanor.
Yes, but as I said, I think he was just trying to persuade everything on that side to unmask, dangle a target in front of them that they can't resist. Bold move in the Minotaur, it must be said. But now that he's smoked, I think we're about to see a great deal of Dakar coming in towards Ulva. Because right now, Front Cecile and Venom are kind of off angle. It's Ulva that's the primary threat, and the cap is 80% done. In fact, Catlaron might just stay guns silent for a bit. if it's him that's capping.
So
Meanwhile, we've
Grozvoy Charlie just got forced out. He's had to reverse back in again.
yeah, that's reset his cap. He's smoked up this time, but Bogdan will be well. He's got a pretty good idea of where he is.
So Soggy Muffin with the radar.
Oh, in that case, correct that. He now has a very good idea of where he is, and so does something else. So Lucky Canna forced to stand on the W key yet again.
Midway coming in with the dive bombers.
Out of his smoke, okay, popped his dive bombers.
Ooh, big chunk from the Montana.
10,000 off between the bombs and a busted engine, and he's been forced out of smoke. Now, Grozzy, of course, does have the option for defensive fire, and he's close to the Worcester, so I don't think... In fact, no, Bogdan actually had to reset his squadron and come back with torpedo bombers. Meanwhile, back on B is still stalemated. Back on A, it's turning into a bit of a scrap on the 2-3 line.
So Captain Stewie in the Des Moines has just popped his radar, just to keep those guys spotted. He's got AP on the side of Venom. Nice chunk there, probably a Citadel.
And Francis Eel is looking for it, and that's another solid watch. But torpedoes coming towards Captain Stewie. That's going to force him to ground. Though he didn't really want to go much further out anyway.
Nope.
But
he's quite happy just farming broadside there.
But the moment Ulver clears the corner and pushes forward, he's going to have nowhere to go. I'm surprised Venom hasn't switched ammunition type.
So the Francis Seal Henri is being forced forward by the torps from the carrier. Captain Stewie is going to get a fantastic opportunity for a broadside here in just a second.
Actually, no, he isn't. Francis Seal has decided he'd rather take
the torps,
than the
which
Des Moines.
is probably a wise choice.
I completely agree with, and he didn't manage the torps either.
Good driving there.
That is impressive. Very nice driving, and he can now push the turn a bit further and then get himself back into cover. That was very, very nice.
That was very well done. Yep, very well done. So Grozvoy is back in Charlie and is managing to cap.
This time he might even finish the cap.
Yep, he
Yay!
did. Just the very second that his smoke expired.
Yeah. Well, that's not really an issue, provided the carrier doesn't come back to kill him.
So interestingly, Fox's Shadow again in this match is getting his rockets going on Luminiac.
Yeah,
I question that. I really do.
Yeah, I have. I mean, as I say, as much as I hate to call out individual players in these games, Fox's Shadow has been playing like a random games carrier driver, going for damage.
Over
not like
spotting.
A competitive carrier driver going for spotting.
Yeah, I think they need to increase their spotting a little bit.
And that's been very telling all through this match that we've seen.
Right, so we've got Double Henri and Republic starting to kite away now. I think they've realised they're not going to win that battle at A, so they're going to take up a position probably underneath
Interestingly,
Bravo.
Venom, while he's hunkered, he's kind of... Yeah, this is the Worcester. Again, they're exploiting the low velocity of the American 152 and just lobbing the shells over. Problem is, they're having to throw their planes away in order to get spotting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even a Midway can't keep that kind of exchange up forever.
No, and the Worcester of Soggy is not going to be able to lob that island very easily without the spotting, because of course the auto-targeting won't let him lob the...
And it's not even that, because Venom is running back towards it, and I would wager money that he's got the prop mod installed, so he's got faster acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
The long travel time of the US shells means that they're very good at hitting the water where he was 3 seconds earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, if you just keep shuffling back and forth, you're probably going to be reasonably okay.
Yeah.
Bit of an exchange starting up now on the 9-10 line. We've got Violetto and
Interestingly, it looks like IRN are pulling back from A.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to see a bit of rotation here. So
Alaman on board, they're taking focused high explosive, and Foxes is going for him as well. He's looking for that cooperative. I don't think he really got... No, I think most of those rockets hit the water. So Malin on board actually breaks contact and manages to pull away. But center of the map, Gortan got torpedo bombers coming in. Will he pull it off? Well, he managed to knock down 3, but the fish in the water, and 1 on the bow. 1 scrapes past, but he pulled some torpedo beats there. And his next problem is if he's going to overcook that turn and end up broadside in front of Lumeniac, which he doesn't. Stays properly angled and is pushing into B.
In a republic, that's a. I'm not sure about that.
In
We'll
a
see.
republic with minimal support.
Yeah, he's going to get focused from everything
That's
in A,
bold.
that's for sure.
Yeah, and now he is turning broadside to Lemeniac.
Yeah.
This is the problem with the Repi, of course. In order to get 8 guns on, it's so tempting just to
The,
go broadside.
the one thing that this ship does not do is center control. It's just, it can't.
Yeah.
It just, because you have to, in order to shoot at something, you have to show so much side if you want to get more than 4 barrels on, that it's just so vulnerable.
Yeah, and ouch, right. So the ships that were pursuing the Henri of Alaman kind of maybe possibly overextended a little. The Worcester of Giolit going down to concentrate fire from Soggy Muffin and Machine 007. And Grilletto and Lucky Canna deciding, you know what, this is a bad angle. We've got point C. Let's go somewhere else.
Which, of course, I think is going to cause MDF to turn around and maybe cap C eventually.
Yes, and the other problem Grilletto's got is that, okay, he's trying to break contact and get clear, but he's got an Honore and a Worcester throwing high explosive at him. And, well, he can dodge and jink for quite a while, but they only need to connect 1 or 2 good salvos and he's gone.
He is plane spotted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Light bombers aren't really looking for him, but they've spotted him anyway.
They are. Here
comes
Montana.
AP coming in from Montana. That misses. HE, he's doing a very good job of making that cruiser dance, considering its size. But
absolutely. If anyone's got a chance,
the airplanes.
If anyone's got a chance, it's the carrier.
The airplanes.
Yeah, no, not going to happen. Yeah, he's just dodged. I'm going to kill him now, but he's just dodged about 10 volleys successively.
Make
Henri,
that 12.
Henri missing there. Good job.
Missing again. Yeah.
Good job to him.
Very well played survival there, but you wait, we may have just administered the kiss of death. Ooh, 1 through the stern, 1200 health, blind fire from the Montana.
There's more shells from the Henri in the air.
Yeah. Has he actually broken contact, or are they just...
Yeah, no, he is unspotted, yeah.
So they were blind firing, so... Mind you, the rocket planes are coming back, and it's not gonna take much, but he has managed to scuttle all the way back to the Midway, so he's got the Midway's fighters and 5-inch guns for cover, and he's healing, so he's gonna survive, I think, but he's basically out of this fight for the next few minutes, and that could matter. Meanwhile, point A and B, Venom swung off B. They've given up there. Gortan's repositioned, and they're trying to stop the rot at A by the looks of it.
MDF Midway desperately trying to get the hit on Henri there, but with fighter cover and with a Midway right next to you and an Henri, that's just not going to happen. So as I said, MDF now have turned around and they are starting to head back down towards Charlie. So we'll probably see the Minotaur getting a bit of a sneaky cap in there. Although the Grozhevoy no doubt will try and stop him.
Gortan has pushed itself a little too far forward. Synthanor there hiding behind the Mont Saint-Michel, and he is going to have fairly clean broadside. Mind you, it's going to be mutual. Both Republics are going to have pretty clear broadsides to each other. Synthanor takes the first hit, gets away with it. Gortan angling away, gets slightly the worst of the exchange, but he's managed to angle out, and Synthanor's backed behind the chapel. So I'm sure both sides will cease fire in the interest of preserving an ancient and venerated archaeological landmark. Oh, who am I kidding? It's going to go splat, isn't it? Luckily, it's insured, so yay.
So Minotaur and Des Moines starting to switch fire now onto Gortan.
And Gortan's turning in to try to push on the cruisers, the Minotaur and the Des Moines. Bold move again, honestly, because he's running broadside to Synthanor in the process. Or is he actually going to keep that turn going?
I think he's going to keep the turn going, and I think MDF are not far away, perhaps, from controlling all 3 caps. Certainly, they're going to have A and C.
But they're about to take C. Machine 007 safely into point C, smoked up. Okay, his traces are going to be giving away, but there's the cap right as the shells come in, and even then, the blind fire's not really finding him.
So Synthanor is looking like he's going to potentially get ready to push B if needed, but the Montana of Luminiac is definitely going to push down to B. with a bit of help
Yeah,
from
and
Soggy
that's
Muffin.
where it's going to get tricky for both sides, because right now the only thing actually in or near B is Lucky Canna, who's sitting in smoke just outside the cap.
But so
And I think he's deciding what to
Soggy
do.
Muffin has just come into radar range and has popped his radar.
And I think Canna is just waiting to see if Lumaniac pushes in.
So Canna is spotted. Canna is spotted by radar.
Yeah, that was the problem. The moment that radar lit Canna up, he was going to get absolutely hammered by the Minotaur and the Mont. Wait, no, that's the Worcesters. Yeah, this is going to get ugly for Canna.
He's decided to YOLO
Avert your
Torp,
eyes,
I think.
children. Cruelty small boats incoming.
Yep. I think he's decided to try and rush Torps on the Republic, but it's not going to happen.
And he got about as far as we thought he was going to.
He'd put himself.
Let's be honest here.
I think he'd put himself in a position where he couldn't reverse quickly enough to get out, so he just decided, let's just go for it. So
yeah, and now Venom's in trouble as well. But Captain Stewie has gone down. The Des Moines finally succumbing. I think the Henris have been pounding on him for the last 6 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to clear that corner. Unfortunately, Gortan has got his own problems now, because he's got one, possibly two fires. No, make that two, possibly three fires burning, thanks to the Worcester firing over the island.
And MDF are actively aiming at his stern to try and get a fourth fire on him. Or third fire.
Yes, and I don't think he's got a damn con, because he would have popped it in these circumstances.
He's also
even
got
the
Mino.
Battleship. He's popped his repair party.
He's also got some very well aimed Mino Torps coming his way as well to his left.
Yeah, and I think those are going to blindside him. He's not even looking that way. He is turning, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Here they come. They're on target.
Are coming in.
They are on target.
He's not out of the track on those. There's the brown alert twitch from the turrets. One in the back. Second in the side, and Gortan bites the dust.
Good talks there from
It's not
Catlaran.
looking good for IRN, is it?
And it's over.
Oh wait, they just lost. So MDF takes the second
with
one.
the win of the match.
Absolutely. And that puts them pretty much through into the knockout stages. 2 wins out of 3. They would have to lose their third one in spectacular fashion for that not to go their way. But yes, I must admit, I'm surprised that second round they played, the first one we watched, did not turn into a 5-minute stamp.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm amazed. I'd be interested to know what lineup they used in the first match, because if they
actually, we can check. We can probably grab it from the screenies.
Oh, you probably could, actually. Yeah.
I'm going to scroll back.
While you're looking for that, I'm just going to take a quick comfort break, because we're just 9 minutes away potentially from the KTM Extreme match. So I just need a quick comfort break.
That is fine.